Hello once again, wrestling fans, and welcome to Off the Top Rope Radio, heard worldwide on Kqck radio stations. I'm your host, Brian Shank, and in the next hour, we'll discuss all that is professional wrestling. You'll hear the latest news, informative interviews with the biggest stars in the business, and maybe even a few surprises along the way. It all starts right now on Kqck radio stations, USA and Costa Rica. And indeed we are back here on Off the Top Rope Radio. Yes, indeed we do. Kqck.com. We're heard every Thursday right here at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We welcome you to the airwaves. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Today is Thursday, May the 1st, 2014. We welcome you to the show. Hope you're nice and comfy there in front of your radio, your computer, your TV, or wherever you're checking us out on, because we do thank you for listening to Off the Top Rope each and every Thursday right here on Kqck.com. My name is Brian Shank. I'm the host of the program like always, and we're going to be having a very cool show tonight because we've got the one-man gang joining us later on at the 5:30 hour here on the Pacific Time Zone. We're also going to be talking to Doug Mcdonald here in a few minutes or two about professional wrestling at its finest. A lot of things have been going on here on Raw lately, and some TNA news as well. And I'm looking forward to discussing all that and much, much more right here on Off the Top Rope Radio. And by the way, we do have some emails and some texts and all that good stuff and some Twitter things from the people out there who enjoy our show. And if you want to send us an email about anything in regards to today's show, you can do that by sending it to Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at kqckradio.com. We'll get those emails, read them to you right on the air here live. A lot of people have been sending some Twitter stuff to my buddy Doug McDonald over on WrestlingRumors.net. If you want to do that, feel free to do that. But the quickest way to get something asked on the show would be to send them to Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at kqckradio.com. And if you want to have a question for the one-man gang, Akeem, George Gray, whatever you want to call him, we'll definitely ask those here on the air when we interview him in about 30 minutes or so. So we're going to take a short break here. We're going to come back because I want to go ahead and get everything set up for the news of the day, so to speak, here with Doug McDonald from WrestlingRumors.net. We're going to talk about pretty much everything and anything that we can get our hands on with professional wrestling. There's been a lot of things going on here lately, and we want to make sure that we get to all of those. So make sure that you tune in here every Thursday on Off the Top Rope Radio, heard exclusively on Kqck.com. Make sure you tell all your friends, all your wrestling fans, your buddies, that we're here every Thursday. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Committed to excellence. Coming to you live from the Kqck radio station compound, nestled in the beautiful Santan Mountains. Mark J. Victor, world-renowned man of peace and attorney for freedom. In a world of coercion and war, a peaceful man stands tall. Now, for your weekly dose of freedom and peace. A peaceful man stands tall. Ladies and gentlemen. AZ Computer Geeks is your local hometown go-to computer company, focusing on providing comprehensive computer repair services for PC and Mac computers, desktops, and laptops. Working with individuals and businesses small and large with over 20 years of hands-on experience, AZ Computer Geeks technicians have many certifications and love what they do. Believing in 100% customer-satisfied service, you will get free diagnosis and professional quality individualized services for your needs. Growing on referrals, AZ Computer Geeks loves your feedback. Refurbished desktops and laptops available for sale. Also building custom systems to your specifications. Check out azcomputergeeks.com or call 480-729-8899.
Yeah, we're right back here on Off the Top Rope Radio, heard exclusively on Kqck.com. We appreciate you checking us out today. Big shout out to all the people out there watching us and listening to us here on the radio. We do appreciate that on the TV screens, on your computers, on your Kindles, laptops, whatever you got, your cell phones, your iPhones, whatever. We appreciate you tuning in to us here each every Thursday. Now, as we always do on every Thursday, as we talk to my good buddy, Doug McDonald, who is the senior editor of WrestlingRumors.net. And Doug, I apologize for these graphics today. We're having some small issues, but regardless, we all know who you are. You are the man of the hour, well, at least for the next 20 minutes, maybe. Doug McDonald.
Yes, I am the one-man lynch mob.
You're not the one-man gang, though. That's the thing.
No. Just the one-man lynch mob. That's who I am.
I like it. The one-man lynch mob. That's a good idea. I like it. So how you been, man? How was your week?
I'm stealing gimmicks. I am awesome. I am in Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful weather here in Nashville. Of course, our thoughts go out to those affected by the storms the last couple of days.
Absolutely.
But here in Nashville, it's amazing. I'm standing by an amazing lake. I'm currently at a music conference, and I'm going to have to run out in a quick bit, but let's talk some wrestling, man.
Yeah, this past week on Raw, it was very haunting like usual. I'm just, every week I'm loving the Bray Wyatt character more and more. I think that it's so captivating, because, this is something in professional wrestling you haven't seen for a while. And even my daughter, who does not get into wrestling, when I showed her that segment with all the kids wearing the lamb masks and everything else, she thought that was phenomenal, and she was actually kind of creeped out a bit by it, which was pretty cool. So Bray Wyatt, once again, moving forward and just really doing some awesome things in the WWE.
He's literally taking Undertaker's place.
Yeah.
Like, we always thought when Taker leaves and hangs up his boots, who's the successor to his throne?
Yeah.
And it's going to be Bray Wyatt.
I think without a doubt.
He is incredible. Mm-hmm. And on the microphone, in the ring, psychology-wise, whoever wrote that segment Monday night should be promoted to head writer.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Because that was immaculate.
Well, the thing about Bray Wyatt is that, he's pretty much his own type of character. There's really nobody else like him. The white pants, the Hawaiian shirts, the hats. He's so original in so many ways. And, I know that probably the Duck Dynasty thing probably helped, develop his character, because I think the WWE tends to gravitate towards things that are very popular in the mainstream media at the time, and I think there's no exception to that. With him being that type of character and that type of look and everything, it made a lot of sense to bring someone like that. And I like it, because now here we're going to see John Cena, and I like the opening of Raw because John Cena was saying, hey, why did you guys do what you did? Why did you vote?
And who said
you did?
Who said he would be doing that last week?
You said it. I'll give you props, baby. I'll give you props.
I did.
Yeah, but the thing is that it was awesome, because he came out and basically was kind of giving a little bit of a sense of possibly foreshadowing for the future of what he's going to become in the WWE in regards to his character, that is. There's so many things that John Cena can do right now with his character, and I hope that somewhere down the road we may see eventually a full-fledged heel turn for John Cena. I would love to see it. I think it's time for a change.
It's definitely time for a change, as Owen Hart would say.
Yes, God bless him.
But it's not going to be a full-fledged heel turn.
No.
It's going to be a tweener. He can't go full heel.
No.
Because of the merch he sells.
Yeah, that's true.
And because of what he does with Make-A-Wish. It was not a coincidence that they did that segment first.
Yeah.
And teased his change in character.
Yeah. And
then immediately showed his work with Make-A-Wish.
Right.
On camera.
Yep.
It was not a coincidence. And saying about Bray Wyatt's character, Dusty Rhodes.
Woo.
Dusty Rhodes, who's always had his finger on the pulse of society, baby.
Let me tell you something.
This guy, funky like a monkey, said, this is the character that you, Husky Harris, which wasn't working.
No, God, no.
You need to latch onto this character. And Bray took it and ran with it.
Huge.
And, he's done such an amazing job. And, yeah, it's time for a change for Cena.
Yeah, it is.
And I think we're going to get it. It's just not going to be a full-fledged heel turn.
Well, and I think that it's smart that they don't, because if you like you said, it was no mistake and no coincidence that they did show the whole thing with the Make-A-Wish Foundation afterwards. And if you think about them coming off the heels of one of the greatest successful charity fundraising money opportunities from WrestleMania, I think they drew almost $500,000 for these children's charities.
Yeah.
And the WWE is huge into this. This is not something that they fake or say, oh, this is not something that we're doing just to make our names. They're very much into their charities, just like they are to their troops. God bless our troops out there all around the world. They do so many great things for our people out there. And, sometimes WWE gets a black eye for doing this or for doing that. And maybe some of their past practices and past characters and storylines maybe did ride on the edge of insanity and probably poor taste. But when you look at the actual thing they're doing tremendous things. And keeping John Cena right in that top spot is obviously a smart idea. And I'm really fascinated now to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks. And not only that, this week on Extreme Rules in inside the cage. When that whole thing was going on, Doug, you saw him standing in that cage almost like he couldn't escape if he wanted to go to these children, to go to the kids, to try to do something. It was like he was a caged animal being played with by a bully with a stick and with a rat inside the cage. That's exactly the whole scenario that was pictured for me on TV. I ran with it. I liked it. It was fantastic television.
I'm more excited about that match and storyline moving forward than anything else.
Yeah, indeed.
I really am. They've done such an amazing job with their feud and their storyline that I'm more intrigued with them than I am with anything else.
Yeah, without a doubt. And John Cena is the perfect person for this to happen to, because we have talked about the past, 7, 8, 9 years where he's been kind of, I don't want to say stagnant, but I want to say consistent, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Hulk Hogan for years was the number one babyface. People like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Tito Santana, I mean, they never frayed or strayed away from anything that involved them being a big baby face in the whole promotion and whatnot. And here's the same situation out with John Cena, where now we're kind of testing the waters a little bit. We're kind of seeing where he's going to go, how far this nut can actually crack. And now, like you said, the next few weeks, I'm going to be glued to my TV to see exactly what happens, because there's something that they're doing. They're bringing psychology into the promo, into the angles, and it's fascinating. I really like where they're going with this, and I hope it does pay off.
Go ahead.
I hope it pays off. That's all I'm saying.
Well, for those that argue, well, Hulk Hogan turned heel, yes, he did, and he revolutionized
the NWO,
what a heel could be. He was stagnant for 3 years before that happened. I mean, he was getting booed from almost the beginning of him going to WCW. People were booing him.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the men, just like the men that booed John Cena.
Yep.
However, Hulk Hogan was not making the company millions of dollars with merchandise in WCW.
True.
And he definitely wasn't doing Make-A-Wish like John Cena is.
Right.
John Cena is not going to turn full heel. I don't know how many times. I mean, each year we talk about this.
Yep.
Every year we talk about this.
Yep.
But I do sense a change in this character coming, and I'm ready, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things going on here in the WWE as well, besides John Cena and Bray Wyatt. We know about Extreme Rules this Sunday. They will have a match inside the cage. You and I both agreed for the last few weeks, since it's been announced, that we hopefully believe that Bray Wyatt will get the rub from John Cena.
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, it has to happen.
Bray Wyatt goes over.
There's just too much build-up for him not to win. So let's move on with that. We both agree with that. Now, moving forward here, I know they pushed the angle pretty quickly due to the fact that Daniel Bryan's father passed away last week unexpectedly, and I know they're kind of going quickly with this whole thing with Kane. It probably was not in the works like we talked about last week. And I'm kind of excited about seeing this, but I got to say something. I just thought that the whole thing on Raw, coming through the mat, grabbing Brie, it was just kind of overplayed and overdone. We've seen it so many times. We just saw it a couple months ago on TNA where Abyss came through the ring. And it just I mean, to me, it was just like, oh, the whole ring thing again. I just didn't really care for it at all. I'm sorry.
I looked at my wife, and I said, oh, he's about to come through the ring. And he did.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I wasn't as mad then as I was with TNA, because TNA just didn't pull it off. It was just bad.
No, I know that.
But with Kane, I kind of wanted to see something like that.
Yeah.
For me, they left the red light on, just like old 1997-98 Kane.
Right.
And they even played homage to that version of Kane in the same way by Daniel Bryan going under the ring and getting the wrench that tightens the turnbuckles and hitting Kane with the wrench.
Yeah.
Kane used to take the wrench in 1998, and he hit Vader. He hit Mankind with that thing.
Did he really?
And I thought it was an amazing throwback to Kane. And a lot of people aren't going to realize that.
I didn't.
If you weren't watching wrestling then, you have no idea. But, I mean, it's one of those things where it was a sleight of hand that I saw and loved.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they're giving him much respect here by throwing these little nuances in, leaving the red light on. And doing an Undertaker spot like that, where it used to be Kane was like this. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it went on a little too long.
Yeah, I did too.
But I enjoyed it.
I know.
I thought it was a nice way to bring back the old masked Kane.
I know something you enjoyed even more than that, and I know you're looking forward to it on Extreme Rules, is the WLC match. I know you can't wait for this one. Hornswoggle.
If I could bury it with a shovel and call it horse manure, I would.
Well, it might just be called that right now. I mean, yeah, and you even said it a couple weeks ago. You said they're going to lead up to this, and believe me, when I saw El Torito and Hornswoggle having a little feud there with the three-man band in the Las Matadores, I said to myself too, like, you know what? There has to be a reason why they're doing this and why they're putting it on TV. I just don't care. I just don't get it. I don't even understand. There's no heat whatsoever when they're out there. Nobody gave a damn. And I got to say something. That St. Louis crowd, boring as hell, dude. I mean, my God, it wasn't bad enough my Chicago Blackhawks kicked their ass in 4 games straight. I can understand why they might be a little upset. I understand that, Doug. But do you agree with me on how lame that crowd was in the WWE that day on Raw? It was horrible. Horrible.
It doesn't matter. WWE got their money.
No, I know, but you still want to have a good crowd. Come on, I think you still want to. I mean,
I want a good crowd, but the WWE couldn't care.
No,
they could not care less. They have their money.
Yeah.
If it's not a rowdy crowd like Sunday's going to be, they're not going to book it for that. I cannot believe that they know they're going to the Izod Center. And they book a midget match.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
The
only thing that I know is that Vince McMahon thinks midgets are hilarious.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, and hillbillies too. So
yes, and he will pander to whatever he wants to pander to. So we're not getting we might get a Dolph Ziggler Damian Sandow match added. I don't know, but as of right now, there's not one, and I would rather see Damian Sandow, Dolph Ziggler any day over a little person in a bull outfit and one that's about to be a leprechaun in a movie with long hair trying to be Heath Slater.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, let's move on a little bit to some other things here. I mean, in terms of WWE.
Oh, and I don't care who wins that match. I'm not even going to make a prediction. I don't care.
Well, I don't really care either. But you talked about Damian Sandow and Dolph Ziggler. We saw the whole thing with Hugh Jackman coming on, and I mean, it was a whole big 360 from 3 years ago because now Dolph Ziggler is a babyface, and they had to do something to obviously acknowledge the last time they met, so it made sense. I thought, this past Monday Night on Raw, there was a lot of campiness. There was a lot of cartoonish comic book themes going on. The one thing I said, like with Kane coming through the mat, again, it was just very cartoonish, very overdone. And the whole thing about him coming out as this superhero, and I can't remember his damn name. I'm sorry, I didn't even crack a smile at all during the whole thing. Did you? Did you like it?
I laughed my ass off. I laughed.
I didn't get
I
it.
love superheroes. I don't care who knows it. I am a superhero guy. I will be in the movie theater every weekend.
Yeah.
Starting this weekend with Spider-Man. I literally will be in the movie theater every weekend until August is over.
Yeah.
So for me, I thought it was a hilarious throw to comic book fans. The fact that he was in really skinny red tights and a Magneto hoodie was hilarious to me, and I thought that and anything Sandow does, anything he says, is money to me. They underutilize him so much because he's so money on the microphone. He took the genius gimmick from Lanny Poffo and asked for permission. He asked Lanny if he could do this genius gimmick.
Yeah, I heard
Lanny
that.
said sure, and he has taken that gimmick and he's made it work better than Lanny ever could.
Well,
so for me, the guy touches everything he touches is gold. They just don't use him. He's a golden goose popping out golden eggs, but they're not pushing him.
Well, who's getting worse off than him? In my opinion, is Titus O'Neil. I mean, every time you see this guy, he's getting the hell beat out of him. His shoulders are pinned to the mat. I mean, I thought they were going to do some good things with Titus O'Neil being this huge, extremely large, athletic person, and here he's getting pinned on TV with one kick to the face by Sheamus. He also had that whole...
Daniel Bryan got beat with one kick to the face by Sheamus in a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I know that, but let's talk about now. I'm talking about someone they should be building up. I mean, Titus O'Neil, I thought at least they had some kind of ideas for him, whatever else. I'm just hoping that maybe this is the calm before the storm, so to speak, because I think someone like Titus O'Neil, let's put it this way, and I want to say this with the utmost respect and class. The WWE has always tried to garnish towards certain ethnic races and backgrounds. We saw it with ADR, Alberto Del Rio. We saw it with Rey Mysterio. We saw it back in WCW with Ron Simmons being the first black champion and they broadcasted that and talked about it till they were blue in the face. Now, it makes sense that I could see something to where they might do this with Titus O'Neil, because let's face it, the guy is an incredible-looking specimen, and he can actually work inside the ring for a big guy. I mean, he can really move. I want to see him do something. I just get tired of watching him get beat, so that's just my opinion.
Brian, he'll never be WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, I know that.
Intercontinental Champion, sure. But the first African-American who also is just getting no kind of real TV time outside of staring at a monitor is Big E Langston.
Yeah.
Big E, who is an impressive physical specimen and has the talent. He's so young, can be squeezed into your first. I mean, The Rock wasn't full African American,
right? But
he could be your full-on first African American world champion in WWE.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if we're going to get that. For me, it just doesn't look like they're going to push him in that direction. Obviously, in my opinion, and I will put this out there as my prediction for Sunday, Cesaro walks away with Bad News Barrett walks away with the IC strap.
I believe so as well. It just makes too much sense. It makes too much sense because the way they've been pushing him lately and just getting the crowd getting behind him. I mean, you saw how hot he was even the Raw after New Orleans at WrestleMania. I mean, he was on fire. But again, that crowd was kind of cheering all the heels at the time. But regardless, there's a certain bit of charisma and a certain bit of charm that Bad News Barrett has that I think could play really well as a heel champion, especially by coming out there and cutting the promos he's been doing and having the kind of character he's been living. I think it's tremendous, and I like Bad News Barrett a lot. I loved him when he was with with Nexus. I thought that was good. The Core, maybe not so much, but still, he is a good presence. I like his character. He's really blossomed and developed into a really excellent character where he comes out there, and people know automatically when he comes out there, he's going to have something humorous to say, kind of like Damian Sandow in your opinion, and I think that the character works for him. Give him the championship. Let him run with it. Let's see what we can do with Big E. Maybe repackage him. Who knows? But again, I agree with you. I think Bad News Barrett walks out with the IC championship this Sunday at Extreme Rules.
And if they take the title off Big E, it gives them some time to rework him. Right. And if they rework Big E into the I Need 5 gimmick that he was running in NXT, you're going to see a massive superstar when he gets over.
Oh, right. I agree. He is a good man. You know what? The only problem with Big E is that, I mean, since WrestleMania when he was teamed up with Sheamus and John Cena in that six-way match, I haven't really seen him much on TV since then at all. I mean, it's
because of that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's just,
which is smart.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is smart, but like you said, they've been showing him every week when the tournament's been going on with him watching the screen, watching the monitor with the belt over his shoulder. I would have liked to maybe have seen a promo from him. Maybe, get your thoughts on who you think may, take you on at Extreme Rules for the #1 contendership. I would like to have seen something out of him. I mean,
they did those promos. It was just backstage.
Well, I know, but that would have been nice to have maybe come out and tease him a little bit. I would like to have seen it. I like Big E.
I know, me too.
Yeah, Big E's a good athlete. Yeah. So listen, I know you got to probably run. You said 25 after you had to go, or 20 after, or whatever. Unless you can stick on.
Yeah, it's getting time. It's getting time. We got another session coming up here in about 5 minutes. So.
Right on. Okay, cool. Well, listen. This week, of course, we're gonna have Extreme Rules. We'll see what happens there. We failed to kind of talk about the three-way match between Rob Van Dam, Cesaro, and Jack Swagger.
Let's run through, and I'll give you my prediction on all of them.
Okay, I'm having some difficulties with the computer, so I can't get all my stuff up here.
I know the card.
Go ahead. I know the card somewhat too, but I mean, just it's easier looking at the screen and just going bam, 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 bam. But let's talk about that.
I'm not.
Let's talk about that three-way because I like possibly. No, I like Rob Van Dam in this one. I'll tell you why.
Cesaro.
I'll tell you why. Because I think they're going to keep building on the Cesaro and Jack Swagger feud in some way, shape, or form. Someone's going to do something to each other in that match, or they're going to be distracted and not get to go over in this match. And I think it carries on and keeps going. I think Rob Van Dam, by going to the finals like he did against Bad News Barrett, I think there's a little rub involved here. I think Rob Van Dam wins this match. That's my opinion.
I think Swagger. Here's my thing. If Van Dam goes over, it's because Swagger gets beat, and it's not Cesaro. They're not going to let Cesaro lose this match.
Well,
so RVD can 5-star frog slash Jack Swagger. Sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
and get the win.
Yeah,
and then at Payback, you get RVD Cesaro. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, poor Swagger. Poor Swagger.
But for me, I think RVD loses. I think Cesaro goes over. And at Payback, we get another Cesaro Swagger match.
Yeah. What do we expect out of the Kane-Daniel Bryan match, really quick?
It's Daniel Bryan. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Is it like a quote-unquote clean finish, so to speak? Is it going to be something where there's going to be some sort of interference? Will somebody else help? I mean, what do you expect out of this? Is it going to be Is it going to be bloody and violent?
I expect Brie and Stephanie to get involved.
I do too. I was just going to say that.
But Bryan wins clean. There's going to be some outside activity, but Bryan wins clean.
Okay, I like it. I think it should happen. You know, the other thing I'm just really missing here is I'm missing seeing the U.S. Championship defended. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, didn't we just have a record broken here not too long ago?
On Monday.
Yeah.
On Monday,
yeah.
Dean Ambrose became the longest reigning WWE U.S. champion.
Crazy.
The only people that have held that title longer were Ravishing Rick Rude, who's the number 2.
Magnum TA.
And Lex Luger.
Oh, that's right, Lex Luger.
For 532 days in WCW, or in the NWA.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I'd like to see that belt defended. I think they could really bring some good stuff with that, and I think that maybe somewhere down the road they may do something to take that belt off of him. I just like them as the threesome as they are, and not have to have a belt on one of them. And I think down the road, when Roman Reigns eventually breaks off as a big superstar singles wrestler, I think you might be seeing him winning that championship, maybe from Dean Ambrose as well. So.
I think they will not put the U.S. title on Roman Reigns. I think he gets a bigger title to start with. I mean, when he splits off, he's facing Triple H first.
Yeah, he will.
As a singles match.
Yep.
He's about to get put in rock mode, so he might get the IC title before anything else, but they're going to push that guy. I mean, let's talk about the 2 possible Money in the Bank winners this year. The 2 possible Money in the Bank winners this year, or there's 3, excuse me. I'll put 3 out there for you, and they have to be the 3 that everyone thinks. Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, Cesaro. Those are the 3 guys that WWE are building towards the top spot in the company, at least to get them somewhere up in that retrospect. And Money in the Bank looks like a good spot for them. But for the 6-man tag this Sunday, I fully expect for the Shield to get screwed by Evolution.
Yeah, something will happen. Sure. Yeah, it makes too much sense. I mean, you can't see the Shield going over clean. I mean, think about it. It's a true heel faction right now going in there like this. It's not a huge pay-per-view event, so I do like what you just said there. So, yeah, we got to get out of here. It's 5:29. I got to get Gang on the phone. I know you got to be somewhere. I wish you a lot of fun tonight, whatever you're doing. Have a good time with that, and hope you can sit back and listen to the One-Man Gang interview. Otherwise, maybe you can watch it on the replay or whatever else. But always a pleasure, Dougie. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. I will see you next week and catch you on that one.
Sounds good, brother. Take care. Have a good time tonight.
Later on.
Okay, see you. There you go. Doug Mcdonald, senior editor of WrestlingRumors.net. We're going to take a short break here in a moment or two. We're going to come back and speak with the One-Man Gang because he's definitely somebody that you want to be around to listen to. And if you've got any questions or comments, Brian at KQCKRadio.com. We'll get back to you.
A multi-mix of the best hits from the 70s to the 90s. Now another 5 in a row. Commercial free. Commercial free.
Are you having plumbing or septic problems? No worries. Call Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Been in the Valley since 1996. Family owned and operated. Proudly serving East Valley and surrounding areas. With a full range of services from drain cleaning, septic tank pumping, general maintenance and repairs, inspections for the sale of your home. They provide excellent and courteous service for all your plumbing and septic needs. We're not satisfied till you are satisfied. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call today. Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Contact Denise at 480-987-8051. That's 480-987-8051. Santan Motorsports, located in Queen Creek, specializes in off-road ATVs, dirt bikes, UTVs, side-by-sides, street bikes, and provides performance work. Santan Motorsports is your local dealership for off-road parts and accessories. They provide and pride themselves on excellent customer service and a staff that understands all aspects of the off-road business. Come in and browse our dealership and find those parts and accessories you've been looking for. Check our website, santanmotorsports.com, for monthly specials as well as used equipment. Santan Motorsports, your one-stop shop for sales, service, and knowledgeable staff. Located in Queen Creek on Power Road and Santan Boulevard, or call 480-988-0580. Santan Motorsports, we're here for you.
Yeah, and we're here for you as well, right here on Off the Top Rope Radio on Kqck.com. Heard exclusively worldwide every Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. If you're in the Central Time Zone like my next guest, it'll be 7 o'clock out there. And I just want to say thank you, first of all, to Doug out there for all the great news, all the great talk. Hope you're going to enjoy the rest of your evening there, and we'll definitely look forward to Extreme Rules coming up here on Sunday night. But without further ado, I want to introduce my guest here on Off the Top Rope Radio today. He is a legend in this business, and I don't like to use that term a lot, but he truly is. He started wrestling when he was 17 years of age, straight out of South Carolina. He's ran with some of the best. He's had some of the best characters and some of the greatest matches that I've seen for a big guy, and it's an honor to have him on the show today. He is my buddy, the One Man Gang. What's going on, gang?
It's about time you got to me. I'm the One Man Gang. You out there plugging some show coming on Sunday night and this and that, and you got the One Man Gang on hold on the telephone. If I could come through that phone, I'd rip your tonsils out.
I deeply apologize, sir. I don't know what was going on with me. I should have put you on right away, and I'm really glad you're not here to give me a 747, so I'm very sorry about that, sir.
Yeah, you're a lucky man.
Of course I'm a lucky man. I got the One Man Gang right here on Off the Top Rope Radio. It's our first time ever to have you on the show, and hopefully, down the road we get you back on again and continue on because there's so much to talk about with you. And I just want to say, first of all, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking some time out with us today, man.
It's no problem at all. That was the One Man Gang character. Now I'm just a regular One Man Gang.
Should we refer to you as George, or I'm just going to call you Gang? We'll just go with Gang.
Everybody calls me Gang, so
Gang?
That's fine.
I like it. Now, there was a time that nobody knew what to call you because for a while there you didn't have a moniker, and I believe it was Jim Ross on a telecast one time said, he's like a one-man gang out there, and boom, it stuck. Is that a true story?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much what happened. I mean, it was they'd done a compilation. I've been coming into Mid-South, and I'd injured a couple of their top stars, and they put together a compilation, little VTR, and put it all together as one continuous thing. And during the commentary, he's like a one-man gang, and that's pretty much where it came from.
That's all. And
I'm not taking credit for the names. Luckily, I got the name, and it stuck with me.
Oh, and how fitting! I mean, because when you saw him come out with the cut-off denim jacket and the leather and the the spandex and the headbands and the shaved head on the sides and the tattoos and the sun.
That was years later. When I first went to Mid-South, I had the long hair and a beard, and I didn't have the denim jacket yet or anything like that. Yeah,
I was going to bring that up. How you kind of evolved into that character, because if you look back at your younger years, you did have the long hair, kind of like a Greg Allman type of look to you, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
General.
I don't know why I didn't even back in those days when I didn't think of coming up with something different, but that's just the way that's the way I looked, and Bill Weiss didn't want to change it, so that's what stuck with me.
Awesome. We're talking to the One Man Gang right here on Off the Top Rope Radio at Brian Shank, and we appreciate you joining us here on Kqck.com. It's a beautiful day here in the East Valley in Arizona. It's probably about high 80s right now. What's it like over by you there in Louisiana?
We had a good day. It was mid-70s today, a little cooler. It's usually up mid-80s, but it cooled off a little bit today.
Nice. How did you get nestled in, so to speak, in Louisiana? I know you're a South Carolina native. How did you eventually, move over to Louisiana? Was it a state that you just fell in love with from the Mid-South days, or how did that happen?
Well, my wife is from Louisiana, so we just decided to settle down here. Nice. When I went to World Wrestling Federation, can I say that now? I don't know. On TV, if you're live on the show, you can't say it. So. WWF. Can you say that still? I don't know.
You can say whatever you want, gang. I ain't gonna let you. I ain't gonna censor you in any way.
When I was here, that's why I met my wife here. So we decided her family was all from here. I didn't really have too much family in South Carolina, so we just decided to settle in Louisiana, and that's where I've been ever since, pretty much.
Nice. Yeah, we had a chance to see.
We moved around to the territories, you know. Like if you went to Charlotte, of course, you had to live in Charlotte. You couldn't live in Louisiana, but each territory, you know, for years and years was all territory. So then finally, when it finally went to WWF, that's when we really settled down here once and for all.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you bring that up because it was late. I think it was like late '87 that, I think it was like right around the mid part of '87, if I'm not mistaken, that you were in the UWF, the Universal Wrestling Federation, which it became from Mid-South. You know, when Bill Watts, you know, changed the name and everything. You were contacted about coming up and joining the then WWF, and I believe at the time, weren't you still the heavyweight champion in the UWF?
That's right. I was the UWF heavyweight champion, and I think a big cat, Ernie Ladd, he was working for Vince McMahon at that time. He left Bill Watts, and he was up there working with him.
That's right.
And he got in contact with me and said, you know, you need to talk with this man. And you know, I knew of the man. I didn't really see the show. I didn't know much about what was going on, but he said, you need to talk with this man. He's serious, and blah 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 blah. At the time, I didn't really care because I was the world champion and all that, so I was doing all right.
Yeah.
But eventually, you know, I was on the road on tour somewhere for Bill, and he'd give me the number, and I called, and just about it probably wasn't even 5 minutes. I got a call back, and it was Vince McMahon.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he was inviting me to fly up to Stamford and all that, so.
Wow.
I had just happened to be. I had a few days off after that, like 2 days off, and they flew me and my wife up there, and we went up to the building and had a meeting and everything, and that's pretty much where it took off from there.
How excited were you when you got that call? I mean, I think it was pretty much everybody's ultimate goal to get to the then World Wrestling Federation. I mean, let's think about a lot of people in those days and ages. You had the territories like we talked about, and if someone was on a TV show, they didn't acknowledge that so-and-so left the Federation or so-and-so, you know, but they didn't really acknowledge where you came from. That's just how it was back then. I mean, kayfabe was still way alive, you know, and they didn't acknowledge that you were the former UWF champion because that's just not how they did things. How cool was that to get that call, and was that your ultimate goal, to get to the World Wrestling Federation?
No, I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest with you.
Really?
I just, at that particular time, I was just doing my own thing, you know, in UWF, because he was traveling around a good bit too. He went out to California and different places, you know. So I mean, that wasn't my goal at all to make it to the World Wrestling Federation. But as it, you know, like I said, as it turned out, that's what happened. And we went up there, had the meeting, and you know, Vince was, you know, he was a real nice guy and all that. And I asked him about his bookings, how the tours run. He showed me the book and showed me how the tours run, and said, you know, the One Man Gang is I wouldn't change your name, you know, and all that, which, of course, later they did. But at that particular time, he goes, no, I like the name. It's box office. And he goes, you know, we're bringing you in, of course, man. You know, we're going to work you some with Hogan because we gotta have a steady stream of big guys to put against him. You know?
Sure.
And I said, that's fine. There's no problem. So we had a little meeting, and there was never any money involved, you know. There was never talk of a money guarantee or anything like that. He said, you know, I'll give you a chance, and if it works out, it works out, and you know, and then we'll go from there. And I said, that's no problem with me. That's fine. So
nice.
We kind of stayed in contact until time for me to drop the title, and then once I dropped the title to Big Bubba Rogers, who later became the Big Boss Man and my tag team partner. How ironic is that, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because I mean, there's so much history between you and the late great Ray Traylor, and since we're on the subject, I mean, you did have a match against him in the UWF, and then you became tag team partners as the Twin Towers when you were Akeem, and we'll talk about Akeem in just a moment too. But let's talk about Ray, because you talk about a big guy like yourself who could really move inside that ring. I mean, he was a tremendous athlete and a great guy on the stick. I mean, what are your memories of Ray Traylor, the Big Boss Man?
Oh, I didn't travel too much with him. You know, I worked a few matches against him as Big Bubba Rogers.
Yep.
And we teamed up mostly as, you know, the Twin Towers. But
right.
Even after he switched to the babyface, we still worked a couple of matches after that. But he was. I didn't have no trouble at all. But he was, you know, I hate to say it against somebody, but he was a little bit clumsy at times. You know, he could trip over his own feet here or there, and you know, he could hurt you if you wasn't careful with him, but other than that, I mean, he was an easy hand in the ring, no problem at all.
Nice, yeah. It was a real shame when I read of his passing about 10 years ago because you know, some of the boys that we've lost, you know, it's a real shame. But we're talking to the one man gang right here on Off the Top Rope Radio. Yeah, let's hear it, gang. Come on, who are we talking to?
The one-man gang.
I love it. I love it indeed. Let's move on a little bit here because I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but you know what? There's no structure to this show, so who really gives a shit?
There's no structure. I got so much history behind me. I mean, you can talk about years and years.
Yeah. Well,
anywhere you want to go to.
Let's keep going because, you know, you did bring up about when you saw Vince McMahon and he said, we're not going to worry about changing it. It's box office. We want to keep your name. Little did we know about a year and a half later. Let's first of all talk about it. The African Dream, Akeem. I thought the character was great. I really did like it. I want to know a couple things from you. First of all, did you like the character? And number two, who came to you about changing you up and why did they want to change your character to Akeem?
Well, it was about me liking the character. I grew into the character. You know, once I really understood what I wanted to do with it, then I kind of enjoyed it more. But when I first became Akeem, I was kind of nervous about it because if it didn't work, it possibly could be, you know, me leaving the WWF. You know. Yeah. And the idea, I assume, what I've been told from Slick is that it was supposedly Slick's idea, but I find that hard to believe. I believe it was Vince's idea, so I believe it was a combination. And the way I was told is they come over to me and asked me if I could dance. And we was at a TV taping, and they said, "Can you dance?" And I said, "Well, of course not. I can't dance." And they go, "Well, you need to learn to dance." And I said, well, you know, I was just quiet. I thought they was joking around. Why do I need to learn to dance? We're going to change you into a black man, so you need to learn to dance. So,
I'm surprised they didn't say, because you're a jive soul bro. You're a jive soul bro, and you never get nothing in the end.
I still thought they were joking with me until they, you know, a few weeks later, they set up a thing to go do the video. You know, the video shoot up in New York. The changeover. And I was like, "Oh my god, man, I can't believe this is happening."
Did you have any problems with it, or did you just be like, "Hey, I'm getting a paycheck. Who gives a crap what I look like?" I mean, did you have any kind of problems at all by changing from the one man gang to Akeem?
I didn't have whether I had a problem or not, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it was basically you're going to be Akeem, the African Dream, or you're not going to be anything. It wasn't a choice that I could stay the one-man gang.
Yeah. You're either going to be Akeem, the African Dream, or Stan, the unemployed man, I bet you is what they...
Exactly.
See how I did that? That's pretty quick-headed, ain't I? I did that pretty quick there. So. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, we're talking to George...
They flew me up there. Well, first they brought me in, and they sent me to I guess a costume maker, and they already had the drawings for the costume, so they sent me there for measurements and everything, and they had the costumes all made, you know, with the big goofy hat and everything. So all that was made. Then we went up to New York on some back alley somewhere. We was out in the middle of nowhere. And they had it all set up with the dancers and everything where, you know, Slick comes out there with the big boom box and all that. And they explode this little trash can. I pop up from the smoke, you know, and all that. So
I remember it well, man. I remember it very well because I remember, I'm going to tell you something, in those days from like 85 through 92, I was glued to my TV set every Saturday night because in Chicago, where I'm from, the northern Chicago area, they had on 11 o'clock at night on Saturday night, Superstars of Wrestling. They had Wrestling Challenge on, I think, Friday nights or something like that, one way or the other. But no, it was Wrestling Superstars was in the morning. Wrestling Challenge was on at night on Saturdays. And if, you know, you didn't have a lot of people who had, you know, recording capabilities back in the day. We didn't have DVRs. I mean, we had VCRs, but you had to watch it live. You had to watch it when it came on, and you sat down and watched from beginning to end. You watched every damn commercial in between because you knew that you might miss something, you know. You may miss Akeem dancing around.
Those, to me, those wasn't the most exciting wrestling TV shows in the world.
No, but they were fun to watch back in the day when you were a kid, you know what I mean? Because it was just, you know, this history. It was like, you know, they had the jobbers versus the big stars. And, I mean, some of the people you annihilated with the 747s and the Gourd Busters, my God. I couldn't imagine looking at the booking sheet and being like, you know, Jim Milliman and looking at it and going, I got to wrestle one-man gang tonight. Oh, shit, who did I piss off, you know?
Well, earlier in the day, they put up like a big blackboard, and they'd have on there, TV tape is number 1 set, and they'd have all the matches up there, so you get to see early who you're working against, so.
That's awesome.
We had to be at the building like at 12 o'clock or so,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you think that the Twin Towers, you and Big Boss Man, should have gotten a run at the tag belts, or did that not even really matter to you guys?
No, we always thought we should have got the tag belts, I mean, I always felt they should have put them on us and let Demolition chase us, then we could drop them back to them at one of the pay-per-view events or something. But
I agree.
Vince didn't see it that way, so it didn't happen.
I agree. We're talking to the one-man gang right here on Off the Top Rope Radio, and I want to let everybody know that they were sending in some questions here to our Twitter account with Doug Mcdonald, who does WrestlingRumors.net, and he forwarded these on to me here, and I got a couple of them I want to read off to you, and one of them is kind of something we've already discussed, but I'll read it because I appreciate them writing in. It's from at Drutus Lancaster, Drutus Lancaster. He says, was Akeem directly in response to the Dusty Rhodes character, and did you enjoy playing that character? I know we already talked about that second part, but I guess he asked a good question. Was it directly in response to Dusty Rhodes' character?
I was never told straight out it was in against the Dusty Rhodes character because they brought Dusty in.
Yeah.
And as I don't remember, some kind of common man or something in the polka dots, and him and I worked matches there, as that. So.
Yep.
But what I always was told that it was just a marketing thing. He wanted to have a new, colorful character that he could market. That's what I was always told. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
We appreciate that question there, Drutus Lancaster. We do. I got one more for you here, and this was kind of a good one. This is from at Marco Williamson, and he asks, gang, you look like you've lost a bit of weight as of late, and you look great. How much have you lost, and what are you doing?
I'm just poor. I can't afford any food. That's basically what I'm doing.
Now, come on. No, I know you said you had some health issues here over the last few years.
Yeah, it's just health issues. I mean, it's, doctors always tell you it's better to be thin, I guess, or lighter for your heart.
Sure.
I've had heart problems and joint problems, so if you can take some of that weight off your joints and your heart, of course it's going to be better for you.
Oh, sure, without a doubt. Now, you don't wrestle at all anymore at all, do you?
No, I don't do any wrestling at all anymore. If I ever went down to the mat, you'd never be able to get me back up.
I laugh at that to a degree, but I also get a little tear in my eye because, I growing up watching people like yourself, and Hacksaw and Ric Flair and the Macho Man and all these guys, it hurts a little bit because I remember the days when it was just really magical for me, and I think for a lot of people out there, they can echo this statement too. And I'm sad to hear that. I'm glad you're still with us, and I'm ecstatic you're with us on the radio today because I'll be honest, I've tried to hunt you down for the last couple of years to get you on the show, and I hadn't had any luck. So it was just an honor to meet you at the Mid-South Legends reunion, and let's talk about that a little bit because that was held WrestleMania weekend, Friday, April 4th at the Chalmette, Louisiana. It was called the Siger Center, but I do believe back in the day, the Mid-South area used to be called the St. Bernard Building, and that was cool to see you there because your wife was there. You were rocking the shirt. You did an awesome interview with us, and all the greats were there. Hacksaw Duggan and Greg Valentine and Shane Douglas, Kamala and Mr. Wrestling too, and even some of the people like the Rock and Roll Express and the Fantastics, the Midnight Express, Jim Cornette. How cool was that for you to be just a part of that and just get a chance to see all the boys and reminisce again?
Oh, I was thrilled to be a part of it, and most of those guys, except for Duggan, I run into him, but most of those other guys, I hadn't seen them guys for years and years. Well, Tommy Rogers, I was with him in the 90s in ECW, but the rest of them guys I hadn't seen forever, it seems like, years and years and years.
Yeah.
So it was, just to be able to see the guys, and, it ain't much to really talk about, but just to shake hands with them and take a picture with them for your scrapbook or something, that's important to me right now. Back in the day, it didn't seem important, but now it does.
No, I hear you there, buddy. You're exactly correct, and that's precious stuff. And it was great, too, because, getting a chance to see all the people that made Mid-South what it was. And I remember everybody that I interviewed, pretty much saying that it's great to be here with the fans because you're the ones that, supported us, and you were the ones that, paid to come and see us. And back in the day, gang, if you didn't get paid to come out and see somebody, you didn't get paid yourself. I mean, if you didn't have someone buying tickets, that was how you guys made your money. And it's a lot different now.
Oh yeah, now I assume they have contracts
Sure.
or whatever, but
Yep.
back in the territory days, it was according to ticket sales. I mean, if you had a sold out house, and
Right.
it was also according to where you're at on the card, of course. So luckily I was usually up on the card away, so it usually came out pretty good for me in Mid-South because I mean we had pretty much packed houses everywhere you went. So
Oh, yeah.
it was always a pretty good night.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous, but pretty good.
Dangerous indeed. Let's talk just a little bit here. I know we got about another 4 or 5 minutes here in the show, but let's talk a little bit about why you left the then WWF, the World Wrestling Federation. You then eventually resurfaced in WCW for a while as the one-man gang again. What was the reason why you left Vince McMahon's company?
It was economic problem between him and I. So. I don't want to really go into details, but that's basically what it was. It was just an economic problem.
Okay. Well, that's honest. I'm glad. I would imagine, without getting too personal, because I know we don't like to discuss money and stuff like that, but that was definitely your best economical rewards working for Vince McMahon, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean it was a good time, but then again, it was also just after a while, it just got so hard on your body and your mind, being away from home so much and just being on the road so much constantly. Not just the road, but airports, flying every single day to a different city.
Yep.
It was just, it just got to be crazy. You just didn't know what town you was in, just like a rock group on tour or something. You just didn't know where you was at day to day.
Yeah. Well, you guys were rock stars, man. There's no doubt about it. I believe, the Rock and Roll Express, when I had them on the show here last month, they said, Ricky Morton said, Brian, we were rock stars, man. We were out there, 300 dates a year, and we sold out arenas all the time. He says we were rock stars, and and the same thing goes for the WWE. I mean, they just continue to sell out everything. And let's talk a little bit about Saturday night's main event. Did you really like those shows? Because those were taped almost a month in advance, and back in the day it was so easy to do that. We didn't have computers and dirt sheets and stuff like that to tell us the results unless you were there, or maybe knew someone who was there, or if you knew it was taped for the weeks afterwards, you didn't really know what was going on. How fun were those Saturday night main event shows? Was there anything different about them?
I'll just be honest. I mean, all the shows, even the WrestleManias or whatever else, Royal Rumbles, anything, was just, to me, it was just another day of work. I didn't even think of it any other way. It didn't affect me that it was if it was going to be a live telecast or if it was going to be taped and shown later or anything. It just didn't. I didn't even think of it that way. I just went out there, did my job, and moved on to the next city.
Very cool. And, I got to say something else about everybody. It was at Mid-South when I had mentioned to them, I said, you see the gangs over there? Did you guys, see George is here? And they're like, oh, yeah. And they all had great things to say about you. That's always a nice thing to hear when you spent all that time on the road at people. And there's a few people in the business that have gotten some bad reputations for doing this or doing that and everything else. Were you a big rib guy? I mean, did you pull ribs on people? Did they pull them on you? Or were you just kind of more to yourself and didn't get involved with that?
I didn't get involved with that at all.
No.
I joke around with guys, but I wouldn't what you would say, pull ribs or mess up anybody's gear or change their locks on a suitcase or anything like that. I was more laid back. I just got in my little corner and talk with the guys, basically just general stuff, and put my gear on and found out what I needed to do for that night and basically went on about my business.
Well, I know one thing. If I was a wrestler in the locker room with the one-man gang, I don't think I'd be pulling any kind of ribs on you. I think I'd be too scared, man. There's some of those guys that I wouldn't even think about ribbing, man. I mean, that's insane because you never know how people are going to take it nowadays, too. I mean, it's a little bit different world, so. Oh,
yeah, for sure. I mean, it was some of them guys in the dressing room I wouldn't want to be messing with at all, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got that right. Well, listen, I know we're winding down here to the end of the interview, but I always like to do this with everybody who I get on the show. It's very quick. I just like to play 5 quick questions. And basically, I'm just going to ask you a question, and the first thing that pops to your head, the very first thing you can think of for an answer, just give that to me, okay?
That might take a while.
No, I think you can do these. This is pretty easy. Everybody gets an A+ on these. There's no grading. So if I could spend just 5 minutes with anybody, living or dead, that person would be?
Abraham Lincoln.
Nice. Very nice. Any reason why?
because him and I share a birthday.
There you go. I was going to bring that up. February 12th, we'll just leave that at all in there. I know what the year is, but I'm not going to. No, that's true.
1960.
February, that's right. February 12th, 1960. I was doing some research on you, and I brought that up, and I was actually going to bring that up here later on. But yeah, share the same birthday. Very good indeed. About maybe 100 years apart, but still, it's cool that you guys
still share a birthday.
That's very true. Very true. That's a good answer. I like that. Abraham Lincoln was a great man indeed. So, okay, another one here. If I knew I was going to the electric chair for a crime, my last meal would be?
My last meal would be, I guess, fried catfish.
Ooh. Little tartar sauce?
Oh, yeah, of course. I got to have some sauces. I like the fried catfish.
Nice.
It's got to be filleted now. I don't like messing with the bones.
Yeah, I hear you. I can't eat that. Do you do a lot of fishing yourself? Do you go out and fish?
No, I don't like to fish. I don't, I'll just be honest, the reason I don't is because I feel that it's, I got a thing about hurting the fish. I think that hook just isn't good for the fish's mouth, and I just don't like doing it.
Oh, wow, that's very impressive. I respect that. Very cool indeed. Okay. All right, another one here coming up for you. To me, the most underrated wrestler in our time was, and he should have gotten a better shake or a better chance in the business. Who would that person be in your mind?
Wow, that's a hard one there.
So many.
Underrated. Man, that's hard to say on that one.
Either underrated or who didn't get a chance that you thought should have gotten a break, like a big break.
I can't give you, that was just too hard. I can't give you an honest answer. I mean, there was just so many guys, and half of the guys I can't even remember now, but I was working with so many different people.
Yeah, I know.
That's really hard to say.
Well, let me give you some of the answers that a lot of the guys have said before in the past, and I'll give you. And there's two of them right off the top of my head that I always say on every show, and I know some of the people who listen to me every week are saying, "We know, Brian, you say it every time when you ask this question, but I got to say it." One is Brad Armstrong, in my opinion, and the other one, who I just got to meet with you and see the other day, who I thought really had a lot of talent, was Sam Houston. I thought those were two guys who really had the talent to be maybe a little bit upper echelon wrestler who didn't get that chance.
Well, I guess it's possible. I'm not, it's hard for me to say because, you got to know, what their habits were, outside the arena and stuff, but
yeah.
I know a little bit about Sam, but the other one, I don't really know, that well, but
okay.
he was very talented, that's for sure. Both of them was great in the ring. I'm not taking anything at all about their ring work at all.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. I guess you could say that, but
cool.
There's probably, if you really sit down and made a list, you'd probably come up with a dozen or more,
Oh, yeah, for sure, without a doubt. Okay, I got a couple more quick ones for you here. Where's my train of thought here? I just lost the thing here. Okay, here it is. Nobody is better than me at...
Nobody is better than me at anything.
I like it.
I'm the one-man gang.
That's right, Daddy. Okay, last question for you. There was one wrestler that I never got a chance to work with, and I wish I did. That person is?
Undertaker.
Ah, good choice. Yeah, he came around right about when you left.
Right. Probably about 2 or 3 months after I left, he came in.
Yeah.
If I'd known that, I would have stayed.
Yeah, you would have, huh?
I know I would have had to take his tombstone or choke slam more than likely, but I would have done it happily.
Excellent. I'd tell you, that's one thing about you. I appreciate your time and everything because you've always sounded like you're a team player. That you always went in there and said, "Hey, this is a job. And this is what I had to do. I did it the best I could. I did what I had to do. I didn't cause any crap. I went in there and I did my best abilities. I got paid for my time and I moved on." And to me, that's very admirable because a lot of people in this business or any other business may not be, that kind of person. And I applaud you for that. It's really cool, man. So
I appreciate that, but that's basically what it was. Just a business, and you have to think of it as a business. And
right.
Know your position in the business. You have to understand that, back in those days, people didn't know that professional wrestling was entertainment. But as we know now, it's entertainment.
That's right.
So, you had to look at it that way. I'm not out there as a tough guy. I'm not a tough guy. I couldn't go in the ring and beat people up, but... Yeah. So it's entertainment. So.
Inside the ring, you sure could. There's no doubt about that. So, listen...
But that was just entertainment, though.
Yeah.
Inside the ring, but...
Yeah.
You know, you meet me out back, I'd run down the street from you. Screaming like a little woman.
Nah, not for me, you wouldn't. I guarantee you'd be coming after me instead. Hey, listen, I got to say one thing here. It was a pleasure to have you on the radio show today, and I really like the fact that in Louisiana we met at the Mid-South Legendary, and you gave me your card, and you said, here, you want to do a real interview on the radio someday and talk about some history and some of the things that I've been through? He said, I'd love to do that. He gave me your phone number. I called you up. You said, hey, yeah, sure, no problem, without a doubt. Let's book it. Let's make it happen, and we really appreciate that. That was a great thing you did, and it was good to talk to you, and I hope that, down the road somewhere, let's pick it up again and just kind of go maybe deeper into like maybe world class and some of the other things and some of the other people that you worked with. I'd love to do that again maybe in a few months.
We didn't talk about anything. We didn't talk about Mid-South, really. We didn't talk about World Championship Wrestling, Texas.
Well,
didn't get to talk about Florida Championship Wrestling. So, heck, we got like years and years and years of stuff.
Hey, you know what they always say, gang? Always leave them wanting more, right?
That's it.
So we'll
leave the building. Leave the building for them wanting more, right?
Damn right, buddy. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call you again here in the next few months, somewhere down the road, maybe after the summer or whatever else. We'll do it again. We'll have some good talk. We'll have some good times, and we'll enjoy talking on the radio once again, because this was truly an honor for me, and I appreciate it. And listen, all you guys out there, remember the One Man Gang has one thing to say. Tell them, gang.
This is a one-man gang talking to you. If you don't like that, I'll hunt you down and slap you right across your mouth.
George, you take good care of yourself, buddy. Thanks once again. It was an honor.
You take care also. Thanks a lot, man.
I'll be in touch. Hey, I'm going to get one of those shirts from you. So I got some money coming. I want to get one of those shirts from you, and I'm also sending you a copy of this link from our show today via the internet, and I'm also going to get you a hard copy of the DVD from the interviews we did at the Mid-South Legendary Units. There's a whole bunch of them. You, me, Greg Valentine, Duggan, Fantastics, Rock and Rolls, Bobby Eaton, Sam Houston. There's a lot of them, so I'm going to make sure you get a copy of that. I just got them edited today. All professionally done, edited with lyrics, or I should say graphics and everything. I'm sending you a copy of that for your enjoyment, okay?
That sounds great.
All right, buddy. You take good care. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, you also.
Thanks, George. Take care.
Goodbye.
All right. There you go, baby. The one-man gang. Nobody does it any better than him. And I'll tell you, it was awesome to get a chance to be a part of this moment in history here on Off the Top Rope Radio. It was tremendous talking to him, and I hope you guys enjoyed the interview as well. If you want to send us any kind of information, please feel free to do so, and I'm also going to give away a signed one-man gang picture. That's right. I've got a one-man gang picture. It's an awesome replica of him from the WWF back in the day, where he's kind of doing the old boo, and he signed it in person on a black magic marker, so this is up for grabs. It's very easy to get. Now, here's what you got to do. You got to send me an email. It's Brian, BRIAN, at Kqck radio.com. Once again, Brian with an I, at KQCKradio.com. All you got to do is just send me an email and say, hey, I want the one-man gang picture. Hey, enter me into your drawing, blah, 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 blah. I will notify the winner come Saturday morning. I'll say Saturday afternoon. Let's do it that way. Saturday afternoon by 3 o'clock Pacific. So you have until then to send me an email. When I get that, I'll put them in a big pile. I'll actually print them out, reach in there with my eyes closed, grab one out. Whoever I grab is the recipient of this awesome one-man gang signed picture from compliments of Off the Top Rope. And we do appreciate everybody out there who does listen to us. So again, Brian, BRIAN, at KQCK Radio. To get in that drawing, it's as easy as that, okay? So do that. Make it happen. We appreciate you checking us out here. We'll see you next week right here, Thursday, May the 8th, 2014, on Off the Top Rope Radio on good old KQCK.com. Everybody enjoy your week, and hey, go Blackhawks, baby. Thank you once again, wrestling fans, for listening to today's show. We would love to hear from you away from the airwaves, so we invite you to like our Facebook page at Off the Top Rope Radio. And any emails you want to send, please send them directly to me at Brian, BRIAN, at KQCKradio.com. We'll talk to you next week right here on KQCK Radio, USA, Costa Rica.